जिस है सहाय होए भगवान जिस है सहाय होए भगवान अनक जतन हुआ.
My name is David Dillon, and I live in the Imperial Valley of Southern California. This desert region, just north of the Mexican border, attracted its first settlers a century ago. They came from the East Coast, from Europe, and from Asia, and they turned the desert into the largest irrigation district in the Western Hemisphere. Among those farmers were men from the Punjab province of northern India. They were all labeled Hindus, even though most were of the Sikh religion and some were Muslim. Around that time, there was a growing fear of Asians in this country, and a new law decreed that these men could not become American citizens, nor could they own the land they farmed. For many, this meant giving up the profits of years of labor. Conflict was inevitable. In those difficult times, the men from Punjab found acceptance among the women from Mexico. My grandmother, Isabel Gonzalez, was a young farm worker from Mexico when she married my grandfather, Inder Singh, a cotton grower from Punjab. Over the years, he learned to speak Spanish, and she learned to spice chicken with curry. As a result, my mother Irene grew up with the best of both worlds.
Pero Socorro no se dejó. Esa es otra historia.
My grandfather was of the Sikh faith, but my mother says he drove the family to Catholic church every week.
And he would just park outside St. Anthony's Church, stay in the pickup, and just wait for us till we were out of church. And there were days when, or Sundays, when they had something special going on in the Sikh temple. Then, instead of going to the restaurant, we, my mother, my sister, myself, would go to the Sikh temple to eat. They'd serve curry food and kara, all kinds of nice stuff. And then my mother would visit with her friends, all the other Mexican ladies that were married to the Hindus. And we would just hang around there, with the young people.
Interracial marriages were discouraged by the state of California, but Sucha Singh Gadiwal and Lala Sandoval made their marriage work.
When I was born, my mother was going to call me Maria. And my father said to her, call her Premi. Premi means love in the Indian, Prem means love in the Indian language. So the doctor, he didn't put down Prem or Premi on the birth certificate. He just put Mary. And that was the end of it. And my mother is the one that always called me Premi. My father always called me Mary. It was just the reverse of what each one had named me.
When it was Mary's turn to be married, she chose Nikka Singh Gill, one of the next generation of immigrants from Punjab and a veteran of World War II. After the war, Asian immigrants were allowed to become U.S. citizens, but becoming American was still a difficult process. Bhagat Singh Sangha went back to his family in India. He loved his village, but not the Indian government, and soon returned to the United States.
I came citizen in 1950, in the month of December.
Kartar Kaur came to the valley when Punjabi wives were allowed in under the new immigration policy. Her stepson Padmatma remembers her.
She didn't make a very big adjustment at all, mainly because of the language factor. Her dress was changing towards the Western influence, but she didn't make the adjustment too well. She didn't trust very many people, not even within our family.
Nos pasamos para este lado, pues ya nos casamos.
My grandmother speaks of a sadness that many must have lived with. She wanted to visit Mazatlan, where she was born, but never did. It is best this way, she says. She remembers the good times. It wouldn't be the same again.
Mi vida cuando yo era muy feliz. Yo creo que ya no iba a poder ser feliz como en entonces.
The ashes of my Sikh grandfather are buried in the same cemetery as my Catholic relatives. You'll find Muslims there too, and people of every race. We are good neighbors here. These men and women brought to the valley memories of other places and times. History hasn't chronicled that part of my heritage.